I hope you're well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process. So this video is a video for the solstice, which in the UK is tomorrow morning. So it's about 10:30 a.m. on the 22nd of June 2022. So I'm just going to pull a few cards, see what they've got to say. I do have some information already. So as bizarre as it might sound, this is the month that everything starts kicking off in terms of physical reunions. So that means kicking off, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a reunion this month, but it means that we are at the precipice. We are standing at the edge of the precipice. There is no going back, is what they've been saying. So it's time for the rebirth to come. So the next 6 months of this year is going to be when they all start coming in. So that means communications coming in, meetings happening, all that kind of stuff. This is what they're telling me, all right? They keep showing me pictures of robins everywhere, which is about rebirth. I've got a robin in the garden as well. But more than that, they're just saying it generally, completely. So if that applies to you, that applies to you. What can I say? It's going to be like your life changes in the next 6 months of this year if you're twin flame. So completely out of the blue, they're saying things are going to materialise. It may not be what you were thinking it was. So it might be somebody turns up and it's not the person you were expecting to be that, what you thought was that person that was going to show up. But whatever it is that shows up is going to be really good. So not to worry about any of that. Of course, if you're in a place emotionally where you get a sinking feeling when you hear that, then that just means you're not ready yet, basically. Because by the time you're ready for whatever it is that comes along as a representation of the energetic connection that you're in a place where you're thoroughly cleared of any ability to feel any kind of negativity about anything. So that is where it comes from. It just comes from this release of feeling anything that's that would hurt you. You know, any feelings of doubt or negativity, basically, or fear. So you might notice just as we finish off this month, a little bit of that tail end of that coming in. It's like a weather report, you know. It's like where they say, it's like where you've been through a storm and then it's trails off into like light wind and drizzle. So some days that you wake up that you're feeling a little bit maybe under the weather. Because remember as well, when you're about to embark on this physical aspect of the energetic connection, when that's about to come into being, you're giving birth, you know. So it's like you've been carrying it around inside your physical body for a length of time. It is rather draining on the physical experience, you know, to have this energetic connection going on. That is, yeah, basically like having a baby inside you that's waiting to be born, you know. So let's get some cards out and see what they want to say. Yep, they show me in my head the Six of Pentacles, which is someone reaching out, making a contact. They're saying get out and about, do as much as you can to thrive, enjoy being alive. So that is, if you get invited somewhere, go. If you get, if you know there's something going on in your local area and you feel like, oh, that's funny, things like that don't normally go on around here, then go to it. You know, if it's like a fair or some kind of community celebration, whatever, go along, because this is where these things happen, right? They just said get yourself out in the open. So it's like expose yourself. So that doesn't mean you have to expose the, you know, get naked or anything, but just become visible. So you need to be out there, right? They're not going to, this person's not going to come into your front room. You've got to get out and about. Okay. Let's get some cards out. Oh, they're talking about rock concerts now. I don't know why they're talking about Elvis again. I don't know why they're talking about Elvis. It's just like go out and enjoy yourself, you know. I think like maybe concerts in the park, that kind of stuff. Maybe some people you can go and see those kinds of things. Mm. Oh, look, Ace of Cups is coming out, so this is love. It's number 1, so it's a brand new beginning, and it's around love. Knight of Pentacles, which is movement in the physical. It's also healing, but healing is what happens in the physical. So it's like what comes towards you in the physical life for your healing, you know, events, situations, appearances, people turning up, that kind of stuff. Hierophant, relationship. King of Wands, which is masculine vibration. Oh, look, Six of Pentacles in the middle, which is someone reaching out in a physical, or two people meeting in the physical, you could say, some kind of connection occurring in the physical. They just said barter and agreement. So it's like chit-chat. Hustling, they're talking about. You know, that kind of conversation you have where it's like quite fast-paced and sharing a lot of ideas. And they're talking about words tripping over themselves, like two people talking and it just being like tripping over themselves to get things said, you know, to just tell each other stuff. Could be catching up, you know, with someone you're not seeing for a long time. But with this like kind of aim to please, they said, it's like a fun, but exhausting. They're saying like you've got so much to say that it's like you can't get it all out, and you're like breathless because you're trying to, and they're breathless. So it ends up being quite a funny thing, you know, just the talking itself, because you can't get your breath because you're both trying to say so much, kind of a thing. Ten of Pentacles, completion in the physical. I'm getting this energy of a fun fair as well, kind of like yeah, like maybe that's or the fun of the fair. It feels like kind of like that, just that, you know, really bright energy of like going out and having loads of fun and chitter chatter and talking and excitement. Lots of stuff going on. Three of Pentacles, creation in the physical. Queen of Pentacles, that's the physical representation of the feminine. And Ace of Swords, so we've got Ace of Cups, which is love, and it's 1, so it's starting again. It's also really clear, the Ace of Cups, so it's without detriment, so it just means love in its most expansive terms. So it's like unconditional love, filial love, just like that feeling of feeling good, right, which is also love. It's without anything to hinder it or impede it. So there's no feelings of sadness or regret or negativity. It's just this like buoyant feeling of like happiness and joy and expansion and openness and a willingness to compare, you know, like they're saying, this connection, like a willingness to share and compare and be open and talk and communicate. Well, it's opposite here, the Ace of Swords, which is communication. It's the number 1 as well. So it's that open energy around communication as well. So I feel like with what's coming in, like it's going to be very, you know, there's this whole thing, right, where you start in your twin flame process. Well, not where you start, but where you get to start. You feel like there's somebody, or you meet the somebody and it's the one, and you go through this kind of dismantling of your whole experience of what love should be about. So you go through a lot of different versions of what love is inside of yourself. There's a lot of pain that you essentially release, a lot of fear that you release, a lot that you let go of that would be harming yourself. You end up in a feeling good state, right, which is where anything goes. It's an openness to, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's just see what turns up. It is what it is. Like, rather than like at a time in this process, a twin flame process, it's all very like closed off around love. It's a lot of questions and it's a lot of like kind of like, oh, I don't know. It's like it wasn't right, it's not right, and the feeling that you have like part way through the process is not a great feeling, right? Um, but this is like cleared of all that. So it's cleared of all that debris, that confusion and that turmoil that can interfere with just feeling good. So there's two people coming together here in the communication, which is communication here, talking, emails, text, but I do really feel talking, like conversations, because I feel like quite long conversations, and this openness and this willingness to communicate, basically. Like a trade-off. It's like, but without an agenda, you know, not like, oh, if I give you this, you're going to do this for me. It's more just a like, let's just share our experience. I just want to tell you everything that's happened to me, and you want to listen to everything that they've got to say about what's happened to them. And it's just like, you know, it's just flowing, basically. Let's look at underneath the Six of Pentacles. Happiness, Nine of Cups. So that's like practically complete happiness and wishes fulfilled and dreams come true and all that kind of stuff. So yes, it's just really good energy in the middle around communicating. This is the energy basically of two people coming together that feel like they've known each other forever, where they just trip over their words in communicating, as though that it's just like those conversations where you go, I know, and it's all like you're just on the same page about everything. And you're like, just get each other completely, you know, and there's like this understanding underneath it all, that where you don't need to say certain things because you just get each other completely. So kind of like that was just real ease of communication, basically, coming along. So, 1 second, just let me get that back up there. Okay, oops. Right, let's go one more on these. So it is coming along this month, basically. It's coming along. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. So we've got 3 aces now, all in a trajectory, and that's a brand new beginning around communication. So it's definitely coming along this month. What's the one underneath? And that is the King of Swords, which is the voice of the masculine, basically. So it's the brain and the voice and the communication from the masculine. So that's underlying everything, and that's where that happiness is coming from. So with this, it's always the same. It's going to be the masculine coming through and making contact. So, and that's when it all kicks off. Oh, excuse me, I've got to fan. It's really hot today. Ooh, right. Hierophant. Let's go on that relationship. Higher self. And on here, creating in the physical. Vibration of the feminine, the Queen of Wands. So it's created through the vibration of the feminine. So there's no end to that, right? That's where it stays. So it's like, if you think about, how can we say it? So it's kind of like, if you're going to get something and you're going to pin it high up on the wall, you've got to leave it there, basically. You can't bring it down and bring it down back into like negativity and ego, right? So higher self is keeping up in higher self, basically. It's staying in the broader perspective, and it's staying in the overview, and it's staying aligned with the truth, right? And the truth of you, which is that you are beyond ego, right? So it's that feeling of freedom, lightness, happiness, the feeling that nothing can really hurt you or harm you if you stay feeling good, because that's the truth, right? Staying feeling good is exactly where you're meant to stay all the time. So you learn that during this process, that you have to stay up there, right, with the feeling good, and you can't keep dropping back down into feeling bad, because that's the whole lesson of the process that you go through. And the result of that lesson of the process is that what comes in comes from there. So things have to stay up there. So you kind of have to leave a lot of yourself behind in this process, a lot of yourself that is born of ego, a lot of yourself that is would worry or would stress or would second guess or would have an opinion or would have a concern or would have anything negative to say about anything that you're going through, basically. So it's that in the mind where you have that you want to like talk about how your life is negative, or things might not be working out all right for you and all that kind of stuff. You have to leave all that behind, because you can't, this reconnection doesn't come in until you've left it all behind, and then you have to stay up there where it isn't, right? So that's kind of what that's about, so that the relationship that you come into is up there in that same timeline, that timeline of feeling good, right? So then creation of the vibration of the feminine. So that is your vibrational self, right? Your vibrational self is your higher self. It's the part of you that would never feel bad, because you understand that you exist forever. So why worry? You're only here for this one life in this one body. So enjoy it while you can and make the most of it and be happy every day. Right? And if you do that, then you're never going to have to worry about anything anyway, because everything's going to reflect that happiness that you feel every day. So you create in the physical what comes from that feeling, and that then filters into your vibration and becomes your vibrational point of attraction. So again, it's like here, through the trajectory of the keeping it up there in higher self, the relationship, not going down into negatives. So not communicating from negatives. Not going back into old conversations, trying to rehash things and go over them again. Not to, example, if you were going to work from ego and you reconnected with somebody that you hadn't seen for a really long time, your ego would be saying to you, let's talk about why we broke up. Let's talk about what went wrong. Let's talk about if we've changed, all that kind of stuff, right? But it's not necessary in twin flame process, because the whole process changes you. So you don't look behind you and you don't look backwards, and you don't try to bring those things into the present, because if you bring them into the present, then you will reactivate them in your vibration and you will create from that point. So if you have had issues in the past and you bring them into the present by talking about them, it means that you're just going to have them in the future, because you get what you focus on, right? So again, you keep it high in terms of communication, brand new beginning in the physical. So you just treat it as like clean slate. Like the twin flame, right? This is an amazing thing about twin flame connection, is that it feels like that person is you. You feel like you do know everything about them because they are you. So it feels like that. So trust that and just let that be what it is. So it means that you don't have to like go back over things and try and like excuse them, or like make excuses and work it out from back there. Why would you? You just start all over again, brand new, from a really high place, a really forward momentum place, a creation place here, through keeping the vibration high, basically. Right, let's go here. Moving into the physical, Knight of Pentacles, connection in the physical, brand new beginning in the physical, and the Queen of Pentacles, which is the feminine. Let go, Six of Swords, so that's just let go of anything in the mind. So don't worry about things, don't stress about things, don't go over old ground, don't go over old wounds, don't reactivate old wounds, don't go over anything negative from the past, basically. Let go of it. Queen of Pentacles, romance and love. So that is what is coming. So just trust that as well. Some people that are going to get this have never ever had it before, because the first time they went through it, it didn't go right, and it was negative, and it didn't deliver, But the thing is, the lesson that you go through is that negativity brings negativity. So you've got to let go of anything that was the past, and know that you're going to have exactly what it is that you should have had the first time around, just because you've changed, and it's going to create that way because you've changed. So it's like trusting who you've become, basically, and that because you become something new and you have renewed yourself, what you are birthing in terms of love is going to be completely different to anything that you've ever had before, and it's going to be the thing that is good, and it's going to come from you feeling good, and it's going to come from you just knowing that and owning that inside yourself, and owning that power that is you to have what it is that you want, without having to second guess yourself or doubt yourself or fear or worry or stress. So let go of that and know that that's what you'll have. Right, and then King of Wands, let's go here. Message, so that's coming through masculine vibration. So that's how communication occurs, right? When the vibration's aligned. Mastery over the masculine vibration. What is mastery over the masculine vibration? feeling good, and staying feeling good and staying buoyant and staying happy and staying positive. And even when you get those little drops of rain, like they say that it might be just trailing off towards the end of this month, just know that that's the end of it passing through, right? The end of the storm passing through. So don't get caught up in it, and don't start to think that it's all going to like explode again into like loads of negativity around you when it isn't. It's trailing off. So even if you get those same old flashes of feelings, you know, like lightning bolts of like feeling like really aggressive and angry and stuff, masculine vibration. So as you clear through your process, you are bringing into being the masculine vibration and form, right? So it clears through you. So you will feel that coming through you, even right at the end, as they dice with the fear of coming into being in your environment, basically, as they dice with the what it is to become, to manifest. Completion physically. Success in vibration. So that's where it's coming from, the success in the vibration, which will already have occurred. So like they say, if you get the flashes of lightning coming through, they're just a sign and a symptom of the message about to come through, basically. That's what it's saying there. Success in vibration, complete. So this is like as we're moving in to the end of this month. So this is already complete. Right, so there's no more work needs to be done on that. It's done. So what you're going to get coming in is because the work is done, not because it's ongoing. So you could say you've already got all the money in all the vibrational money in the bank that you need to get the result from that. So that result is coming from that completion, success in vibration. Let's go here, Ace of Cups. Form, that's Page of Pentacles, that's the form showing up in the physical world. So that's form of love showing up. Also messages as well, Page of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and again vibrations coming out on that. So it's just steady, solid, down to earth vibration. And homecoming, Four of Wands is about a homecoming. So it's coming home, basically, coming into form, which is what is the physical reunion is. It's coming home. So, because it's two of you coming back together and two are one, so you're the same thing, right? So they're just coming home to you, you're coming home to them. Sense of relief, sense of a job well done, sense of ending of sorts, right? Because once it comes into the physical, it's the ending somewhat to the vibrational connection being. It's like they say this thing, right, all the time. You can't put the cart in front of the horse. The horse being you physically going through your process, and the cart being the manifestation of the masculine energy that's your twin flame, right? But this is almost like you just stop and then you unhitch the cart and the cart moves into position over there and the job's all done, right? So in a sense, it's like no longer having to drag that cart along. That is the process, right? So it's just coming into being again. Right, so that's it for this month. Anything else? Let's have a look. Five of Wands, changing. Star, healing. Oh yeah. And dark to light. I have this, that's just reminded me actually. I've had this really funny thing happen. If you listened to me before, you know, you've heard me talk about the leaks in the house. So one of the ones was because all these leaks are to do with emotion, right? And it's all to do with, water's always to do with emotions, and it's all to do with the process, and it's all to do with all the fear. And this one leak that's in the cellar, I went down there the other day and it's just gone. It's completely dried up. And I knew it was going to anyway. But obviously I kept going down there month after month. It's been years. And looking at it like, when is it going to clear up? It's still not cleared up. And sometimes worrying about it because it's like, is the house going to fall down, you know? Anyway, it's just gone, completely gone. So dark to light, because we moved into loads of light last week or the week before. After that famous celebrity trial was over, we moved into loads of light. And yeah, and that now we're all moving forward from there. So and now it's started to, and it's happened in my house. So you might notice things like that are occurring around in your environment, like suddenly maybe because all these things that happen, right? I mean, for me, what I have cats that poo in my garden. I've got slugs that have been here for, traipsing around my garden, eating things, and sometimes into the house as well. Leaks, all these things are just starting to go. So it's kind of like all that is just fear, that shows up in your physical domain. It's all just fear, and it all goes away when the fear stops. But you can't just stop being in fear yourself, because there's the one that you're connected to that still hasn't manifested, that's still bringing fear into your physical life. So when it stops appearing in your physical domain, then you know the light has come, and they've stopped dealing with so much fear, basically. Eight of Cups, which is love comes from love. So another one, the moon. We've got a moon coming on the 28th, I think it is, a new moon around then. And this also means things coming out of the blue and as yet unseen. So maybe by the moon then, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What you desire that you still don't have. Strength, and that's the infinite connection as well in the vibration. But it's really symbolic of the strength that you have to be in at the end of this process. Because by the time you reach the end of the process, you are literally exhausted from the process. And it's like when they talk about people going on pilgrimages, in like the last few yards, it's like you can barely walk, kind of thing. So whatever it is that you're noticing in terms of that, either being at your wit's end, like like the last of the last of the last of the last of the last time that you're going to be saying to yourself, I just can't go on like this. That's going to come up, Also the heaviness in the physical body, and the feeling that the physical body is just about to give birth, which, you might notice you're really swollen and bloated, and your stomach's bigger than it's ever been, and your ankles are swollen, and you feel heavy and lethargic. But the strength, right, is to just know that that you just got to hang on in there, and that it's not much longer now, if that's what they're saying about this month. Go with the flow. It's the Queen of Cups. So we've got that coming out as well with King of Cups. Right, so you go with the flow. The feminine has to go with the flow. Put your feet up, relax. Look, she's got a hand on her belly, she's pregnant, and have a glass of wine. It's an energetic pregnancy, so it's fine to have a glass of wine. And the King of Cups, which is the one that you're connected to, basically. It's a service of love. So that's what it is. Your whole process is a service of love. And it's done for love. It's not for them, and it's not for you. It's a service of love for everything. Because it's bringing the energy of unconditional love into the world. And the proof that that exists. Which so many people deny. And so many people don't even... then we're going to get into talking about narcissists, aren't we? And how they are completely devoid of an ability to feel, express love, even down to them being so opposite in that they have no that they are able to completely fake emotion, for their own ends. It's just weirdness. Anyway, so Tower, ending. So ending of all that, and payoff. And what is the payoff that comes? Twin flame connection, twin flame reunion in the physical, brand new beginning in the physical. So that's what it is from tomorrow, basically, onwards. So, and like they say, it's just, it'll be a conversation. It'll be a text, it'll be an email, and then after that, there'll be a conversation. And once the conversation starts, it literally won't stop. So, there's this feeling as well, like that go with the flow, right? If you know the love is there, so somebody, for example, not everybody's in this situation, but for some people it's the same as me, where they haven't seen or spoken to someone for years. That person comes back into your life, and when they do, knowing what you know from what you've gone through, your position when they come back, energetically, vibrationally, as well as emotionally and mentally, is completely different than where you left off. So, for example, where I left off was neurotic, codependent, and what other issues did I have? Codependency, I was definitely neurotic. Abandonment, I had lots of abandonment issues. So I was a panic disorder as well, anxiety, that kind of stuff. So that's where I left off, but all that is gone now, so I'm completely healed from all of that. And so that's where it picks up. So it's going to come in as a much more relaxing thing. So when they're saying the conversation won't stop, they just want you to know that doesn't mean you will be talking every minute of the day, every day, forever. It means that you will talk and you have a conversation, and then that person will go away and you'll put the phone down or whatever, and you'll have some time where you're not in communication, but you will not stress during that time because your work is complete. So you won't feel the need to stress because you'll know how good it feels to have the communication, and you'll know that they feel that good having the communication. And then because you know have that feeling, because it's all about the feeling, the communication will come back because your feeling is going to remain feeling good. So if the communication was to go out again and not occur again, it would be because you would be going out of feeling good. As I say, before, me, him, and my issues of abandonment, my neurosis and my codependent meant I completely went into a panic the minute he disappeared. The minute he put the phone down, I'd start freaking out, and that meant that it wouldn't come back in until I calmed down. It could take a long, long time, sometimes months. So, because you're connected, so they feel everything that you feel, right? So they feel your panic. And it's a deterrent. That's why they talk about twin flame running. It's a deterrent, that feeling of panic. So it's a not feeling good in the vibration that causes that. So, but where you feel better, because you're through your process and the communication comes back in, your feeling good will remain throughout. So it will mean that it's just going to flow. So it flows slowly, one conversation to the next. There'll be none of that anxiety of what, the worry of like, oh, are they going to call again? That is that you might have experienced before. There'll just be this calm, kind of inner calm of knowing, yeah, they'll be back. But with that, and with, it'll just be fine. You'll just feel fine. So that's it. That's what they've got to share. Lots of love. Take care. I'll probably see you with one of these at the moon. Bye.